Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how much it costs to renovate a small kitchen. We're inside a house flip I just completed, and this is probably the smallest kitchen I've ever remodeled. It's only 8 by 10, about 80 square feet total. Today we're going to use it as an example to showcase how much it costs to renovate this whole space. Make sure you watch until the very end because I'm also going to share a few tips on saving cost on renovating a small kitchen based on my experience remodeling over 50 kitchens as a house flipper. Before we could start putting in the new kitchen, we had to demo the old kitchen first. The old kitchen was where the new dining room is now, and the demolition included removing the old cabinets, countertops, appliances, and the tiled floors. The demolition cost about $1,500. After the demolition, we started with the rough work, which included rough plumbing, about $3,000, and rough electrical, about $2,500. The cost here is on the higher side because of the relocation of the kitchen from over there to the front of the house. Usually, if you are keeping your kitchen where it is without relocating any plumbing fixtures or any appliances, then the cost of the rough work should be lower. And here, we decided to relocate the kitchen to the front of the house because it creates an open concept between the kitchen and the living room. I believe for a small kitchen, an open floor plan is very important because if there was still a wall here and the kitchen is enclosed, this small space would feel a lot more claustrophobic. Once the rough work was done, we started with the finishes, and a big chunk of the renovation cost went into these kitchen cabinets. The cabinets we're using here are prefabricated, so they are actually made into standard sizes, and you can just go to the store and pick them up right away without having to wait. Compared to custom cabinets, they are probably less than a third of the cost, and all the cabinets here cost about $4,500 total. The prefabricated cabinets came assembled, but they still needed to be installed in place, and the assembly cost about $1,500. You probably have noticed that we have open shelving here instead of cabinetry. The two shelves cost about $150 and about $50 to install. It's a lot cheaper than a cabinet, which would cost $300 to $400, and it adds a lot of visual interest. The quartz countertops we use here are prefabricated, and they are cut into standard sizes, and they are a lot cheaper than quartz slabs. For this small kitchen, we only needed 2 pieces, and it cost about $2,000 for the materials and another $2,000 for the installation. The backsplash we use here is chevron pattern ceramic tiles. These tiles cost about $350 a square foot, and for the whole kitchen, it was about $300 in materials. We actually decided to bring the backsplash all the way up the ceiling and around the window to complete this clean and sophisticated look. It didn't cost that much extra because the space is so small. The tile installation was $600 because these tiles actually came in small left and right pieces, and it took a while to install. Usually for tile installation, the bigger the piece, the easier and cheaper it is to install them. The 3 pieces of appliances, the microwave that doubles as a vent hood, the range that doubles as a cooktop and oven, and this dishwasher all together cost $3,000. Ever since the start of the pandemic, the cost of appliances has increased by about 30%. And the installation of these appliances costs another $1,000. I usually pick mid-range appliances like Samsung, Whirlpool, and GE because they are reliable yet affordable. Before I share more of this kitchen renovation cost, smash the like button below and subscribe to the channel to see more home remodeling tips and tricks. I just wrote a book, Flipping Houses Quick Start Guide. It's a comprehensive guide for beginners and it's available for purchase on Amazon. Get your copy today if you're interested. I mentioned that we demoed the old tile floors and installed new hardwood floors in the kitchen that matches the existing floors in the living room and the rest of the home. That makes the transition into the kitchen seamless, and the kitchen also feels less compartmentalized. The new flooring materials cost $600 and it was another $600 on the installation. Lighting is an important aspect in a small kitchen and we definitely don't want to overlook it. We have 3 pendant lights here to light up the peninsula and 3 recessed lights for the rest of the kitchen. In general, installing each light cost about $200 and it was about $1,200 total. It's not cheap, but it's definitely worth it. We usually put the sink under the window, and this sink costs about $300 and the faucet is about $100. A small detail in the kitchen is the drawer pulls. These clean-lined drawer pulls are very budget-friendly and they cost about $2 each. So for this whole kitchen, it was $30. So now you know how much everything cost. If you add it all together, this entire renovation was about $24,000. It's definitely not cheap because everything here is new and the kitchen was also relocated. Now let's talk about some cost-saving ideas for a small kitchen. I already mentioned combo appliances, and if you purchase a microwave, it costs $200–300, and if you buy a vent hood as well, it's $500 or $600 at least. So if you use both pieces of appliances in your kitchen, your cost is at least tripled. And in a small kitchen, you don't have that much space. So if you put in a vent hood and then you would need some space somewhere else to fit in a microwave. That's why a combo appliance is really the best way to go in a small kitchen. Similarly, a range like we have here that doubles as a cooktop and an oven costs about $800. But if you purchase a cooktop by itself, it's another $800, and a wall oven, just a single one, costs about $1,500 at least. So if you use a cooktop and a wall oven, rather than a range that doubles as both appliances, then your cost is easily tripled. Another cost-saving solution is to use open shelves instead of cabinetry. As I mentioned, the open shelves we use here cost about $200, but if we were to install a cabinet, it would have been $400–500. And using the shelves opens up this space and makes the upper feels less heavy, and it's also a nice decoration. If you were to use cabinets all over the walls in a small kitchen, it can feel a little more cramped, and I usually don't use open shelves that much because I don't want the things that you store in the cabinets to get dusty. But if you really like the look of open shelving and you prefer a modern farmhouse look, then open shelving is really a great idea. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, smash the like button below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. See you next time. It's only 8 foot by 10 foot, about 80, without moving any plumbing or electric. If there were still a wall here and around the kitchen, which is the opposite. So compared to a So compared to the quartz countertops we use here are quartz 2 pieces of the countertops, and they are we actually didn't need a lot of extra materials, and we complete this. We actually didn't need it's definitely not cheap, mostly because